Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I'd like to say that in the name of the Egyptian government and in the name of their Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that we want to thank Argentina and the government of the province of Córdoba, Your Excellency Santiago del Cobar, Chief of Cabinet of the Agricultural Ministry, and Minister Sergio Busso, Minister of Agriculture of the province of Córdoba, Your Excellency Juan Martinez, the Chief of the Grains Stock Exchange in Córdoba, the organizers, the steering committee, and as they usually say, last but not least, Mr. Leandro Perbatist. Thank you for this kind invitation extended to the Arabian Egyptian government. I'm glad to address you today on issues that have to do with the purchasing of wheat and the relationships that Egypt has with the world and with Argentina in particular. Wheat is the main food product, and it means an incentive, a great incentive among the many countries in the world, because it is extremely important for food safety of many countries. Its diet, the diet in those many countries depend upon these countries, and Egypt has occasionally come to Argentina to satisfy its wheat needs. We have to say we have been very glad by the flow of soybean oil that we have obtained, thanks to its worldwide recognized quality. So we've had a long history of trade cooperation for its wheat. Argentina is considered one of the main producers and exporters worldwide. It is the 7th wheat producer in the world with a volume of 20 million tons and export volumes of about 14 million tons. And that has made it the sixth country among the exporters in the world. The quality of Argentine wheat is pretty high, mixing hard and soft wheat, which then translates into a semi-hard wheat in order to satisfy part of the needs of wheat that Egypt has. Our administration comes to Argentina in different periods of time, but not consistently. And this is related to Argentina's commitment to supply other countries first, like Brazil, due to the trade agreements that it has with those countries and the advantages in terms of fees and tariffs. Through multinational companies, we have been able to have access to wheat without having even organizations that promote wheat in the U.S., like the U.S. Wheat Organization or the French Association of Grains that promotes French wheat. In this chart, we can see the volume of Argentine wheat that we have bought for 9 years from the procurement ministry in the previous administration. As we can see, there is an absence of Argentine wheat in the last From Argentina to the Middle East, factors that affect the capacity of Argentine wheat to penetrate the markets in the region, and that makes that the wheat coming from the Black Sea, Russia, Ukraine, and Romania, for example, about the soybean oil in this chart. In this chart, we may see the amount of soybean oil that Egypt bought over the last 3 years. It is clear that Argentina represents, for Egypt, it represents a strategic origin and an ally to get the supply of soybean oil that we need. Egypt needs more trading of this product due to the excellent quality of our soybean oil that is, of course, worldwide recognized. Egypt has aspirations to cooperate with Argentina to improve Argentinian wheat in the Egyptian market. That will give way to Egypt to improve prices that we offer during RFPs that the procurement office organizes through its general authority of basic procurement office, and also to ensure the required quality standards. Egypt also proposes to have Argentina participate in the development of joint projects for stockpiling grains and oils in the free trade zones around the port areas in Egypt, especially near the Suez Canal, in order to provide Argentine products to the Middle East. We also recommend from Argentina to have active entities that can be responsible to trade Argentine wheat and soybean oil in the Egyptian market, and to discuss with the traders of those products in the Middle East and in Africa. Within the framework of the Egyptian market, we want to start setting early alerts and forecasts for possible food crisis to avoid possible food crisis. And we find the following: there is a food deficit due to the decrease in the cultivated areas, the scarcity of water, and the desertification phenomenon. We also find that there is a decline in the basic harvest, basic crops production. Also, in terms of the cultivation of new lands, the food industry actually needs to recover those lost lands and to diminish the scarcity issues. We had to set a very clear strategy in Egypt in order to ensure food safety at national level and to avoid sudden increases of some prices due to the lack of offers or due to the monopolies that we have in our country. To have an early forecast of the needs that we're going to have During the periods in which we see a decrease in the agricultural product offer in the local markets, in order to cover the demand of basic products and to stabilize the amounts and the prices, is of course our most strategic goal. In terms of food safety, we also want to increase agricultural production, especially those products that are strategic, to set them in a future plan and to have a strategy for a sustainable agricultural growth, and to have the Egyptian vision for the year 2030 to guarantee basic agricultural products, stabilizing the prices of agricultural products. Stabilizing agricultural product prices will guarantee the balance between farmers, consumers, and intermediaries according to each of their contributions for temporary benefits and special benefits coming from the product itself. Here we can see this chart that indicate the average consumption and production in Egypt between 2013 and 2017. With the management mechanism for wheat and corn, first there is one mechanism for subsidized bread. The procurement office, represented by the General Office of Basic Supplies, manage imported wheat according to a contract based on the following terms and conditions. First, we want to ensure that there is a strategic wheat reserve, imported wheat reserve, that covers at least 2 months' time. And the amount to be imported is distributed throughout the year, taking into account the harvest season in the main producers, in the main producing countries worldwide, taking into account the peaks and valleys, the prices in the grains and cereal chambers, and the calendar of and the weather conditions and the offer and demand estimations of the exporting countries, in order to have the ultimate availability, financial availability. Imported corn management. Companies in the private sector manage imported corn based on a contractual plan, which consists in the accumulation of a strategic balance of local maize, estimation of the annual consumption of maize, whether local or imported, to have a monthly consumption on average for 12 months, and then divide monthly imports, prior imports, in regular intervals, so that systematic batches ensure the balance in the demand and the stability of the market and the prices. Once again, I want to thank the initiative of the Argentine government, and it is my pleasure to participate in this important Congress and in representation of Egypt, and in view of the fact that we can have more cooperation between our two countries. I'd like to thank you once again.